Welcome to another episode on our channel. I unboxed this most recently, the Mandalorian and Grogu from KOTOBUKIYA, and I have all my KOTOBUKIYA figures out here, so you can see they're in the same size category. They're about 1/7 scale, so they're a little smaller than typical Hot Toys figures and so forth, but they look pretty darn good. Now this figure, I do like the poses that KOTOBUKIYA comes up with. They're statues, and they tend to be very dynamic in terms of poses. And this is the epitome of cuteness. We've got the Mandalorian in a dynamic pose, and you've got Grogu down here where you can kind of move him around and put him wherever you want him to be. And I tend to want to put him behind the front leg of the Mandalorian. So epitome of cuteness, also very nicely priced. You know, you're not going to spend a fortune on this particular set, which is wonderful. The two downsides, one is the connecting pieces between major sections of the statue is made out of some rubber. It may even be rubber or rubber-like material, but it is very tight. When you put these pieces together, you really have to work them in. And even with a lot of hot water, you might not be able to eliminate all the space between both pieces. And that's not nice. That's not the best outcome you could hope for. But I managed to get most things together, maybe with the exception of a couple pieces. It looks pretty good from a distance, though. And you really have to look hard to find the space, you know, that there's a little too much space between certain things, and at least one or two domains here with this particular set. The other downside, though, is that it has a measure of flatness. So you look at the base, and they just used one color for the sand base, just one color, that's it, a light brown. The bricks, one color, that's it. The crate over here, one color, that's it. There's only some weathering taking place with this piece right here. So that is kind of, it just leaves you with a little sense of flatness. Now, KOTOBUKIYA really did a great job on the Captain America. You can see the muscles in his legs, and you can see the different colorations there to kind of let the muscles pop out a bit better. You're not seeing it with Flash. So Flash, you can see the muscles, but they're not popping out. I mean, it's just red. No different shades of red. It's just one color red. One color red here. We got yellow. We got some white. And of course, we got kind of a skin tone color on his face and so forth. So there's not much definition in this one. Definitely not much definition, at least in terms of the base and the coat of Grogu. The Mandalorian, you can get by with this not having much weathering attached to it, but I think it will look even better if you have a little wash on that. The other three statues are perfect from my perspective in terms of just doing what they're supposed to do, being very fluid, dynamic poses, and looking good. But this one I'm going to work on today. So we're going to pause. We're going to get this one on a turn tray, take a look at it from all directions, and I'm going to do some a light black washing on it to see if I can create some weathering effects, and then take a look at it again. And hopefully the outcome will be a lot better. So fingers crossed. We'll be right back. Don't get me wrong, I really love this statue. It's just that it's flat. In certain places, it's more visibly flat than other places, but it definitely is flat with the painting. So Grogu, his outfit, it's just one color. There's no shading in between the creases and so forth. And if you look at the base, you can see that it really is just one color. The brick is one color. The the crate is one color. So we'll go around real quick, and despite it being the epitome of cuteness, we will see it really is flat. The only thing that's weathered is this thing. And I think they did a good job. I think it, for me, I would want it a little bit darker. But if they could have done something similar to this piece, it almost looks like a Lego piece. You know, it's just one color. That's all it is. And the brick is just one color, and the sand base is just one color. Now you can get away with the Mandalorian being one color, silver, and then the black and so forth. If he has a nice clean uniform on, but Grogu, I think, needs a little more definition. I probably will give the Mandalorian a little more definition. Still up for debate on that one, but for sure the base has to have much more definition. So we will be right back as soon as I do what I can to the base and Grogu. So the purpose of the diluted black wash was to create more definition, for the black to kind of sink into the crevices and kind of let those details pop out a bit more. I'm going to take Grogu away and just show you the stand, tip it up. You can see it's not just one color anymore. There are hues of darkness throughout. And that's kind of what I was hoping for, that we wouldn't have something so flat looking that didn't really show definition or details. So in the end, I did darken this a bit more. This was already weathered. That was the only thing that was really weathered on the stand. This was all one color, if you remember. And it just didn't speak to me. This was pretty bland itself too. Now I think it's got a nice richness to it, especially if you get a tighter close-up on it. And obviously the stand is looking so much better this way. Grogu's coat got a wash as well, as did the Mandalorian, the silver, lightly. Yeah, so it would have some weathering, as well as his boots. So I think it turned out pretty good in the end. So we'll pause now and try to get even tighter close-up so you can see the definition that came out with the black wash. So hopefully you can see a few more details now. There is no right or wrong in terms of how much to take off, how much to leave on. You just don't want to be overly uniform with the wash. It won't look real. There we go. All right. I thought I was done, but drawing courage from the Mandalorian and Grogu in terms of the black wash that was applied to that set, I thought I would take a stab at this Kotobukiya figure, the Flash. He is very muscular. You can see the muscles in his legs when you're up close to him, in the back and in the front, along the arms and so forth. But from a distance, nothing really pops out. And so I think a black wash will actually do wonders. We'll see what happens anyway. So let me go around real quick so you can see him from all sides. and then we'll see what happens after the black wash is applied. So we'll be right back. So here is Flash Reborn. Now, you might say that there is too much of a black wash on him, and for you, you would be absolutely right. Some of you might say there's too little going on, and for you, you would be absolutely right. There's no right or wrong about this. It's just, bottom line, I think it's what's pleasant or pleasing to your eye. And for me, this works. This amount of a black wash works for me on the Flash. So I'll start just here and just go around here. And then we will put him with all the other Kotobukiya figures, to include the Mandalorian and Grogu. So we'll be right back. We are back, and this time with the whole Kotobukiya set. As you know, we did the black wash on the Mandalorian and Grogu. I did a light black wash on the silver part of the Mandalorian. Definitely did Grogu's coat, but the main focus was the stand and the diorama pieces, darkened those quite a bit. And we did a turnaround so you could see them from all different directions. I think it came out wonderfully. So here's the Mandalorian and Grogu among our other heroes here. Batman with his flowing cape trying to balance on the bat light. Mandalorian next to him in the front. And then Flash, I decided to do a wash on Flash as well. He was just way too bright red and way too bright yellow and more cartoonish from my perspective than kind of being in the league of these superheroes. So this toned him down a bit, but buffed him up as well. Toned down the bright colors, buffed up the gave definition to the muscles. So I think that worked out well. Kotobukiya did a wonderful job with the weathering process and the shadowing here with the legs and the muscles on the Captain America Reborn figure. And of course, Superman was good to go as is. So now I'm just thrilled with how this set looks now compared to what it did before when the Mandalorian was missing. So the Flash update with the wash has made the set sing, especially when we do add the Mandalorian and Grogu to the set. So I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.